I didn't want to fall asleep, so I stayed awake the entire time, even though it was like midnight, so I was glad. And so we got in, and Dave Lester, who's here, who is from Studio Nasu, he's doing a panel right after this that I'll be on. But he's ready to party. He was outside, he's like, hey! It's like 1 in the morning. He goes, you ready to party? You ready to rock? I've got some wild turkey. And then I go, no, sleep. I was supposed to sleep on the plane, but I did it as a long story. And so I went up to my room and I had to record an audition for this video game coming up, and I can't say the video game, but it's a big one. And I'll be hopefully working on it next week. But I had to record that audition, so it's 1 in the morning, and imagine hearing in the room next to you, that's me recording my audition. It's like this crazy, nutso guy. And so I got that done, and then I think my head hit the pillow at 2, and I fell asleep by 2:30 because I'm on my phone emailing people and checking Facebook and blah 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 blah. And the thing about this time zone is that it's 3 hours ahead. So everyone from LA is still updating their stuff, and I'm the kind of guy that I will go on and I will make little comments and like people's posts, but then there are times when I don't, and I think that that's what people do to me, because I'm posting stuff and none of my friends are saying anything about it. Are they ignoring it? And then I'm like, no, we're looking at it, we're consuming it, but it doesn't mean we have to make a comment every time. It's like every time I watch The Dark Knight Rises or The Dark Knight, I don't call up Christian Bale and say, hey man, just watched your movie again. I don't do that, I just watch it. So I'm thinking that that's kind of the same thing, I hope. Anyway, so, which brings me here to this snowland that you guys have provided. I hear it snows all the time, and even when it snows, you guys they do not cancel school. Education goes on. When I went to school in Texas, if it was of snow, cancel! Stay home! Don't go outside! And one time, before I moved to LA, the worst ice. Now ice is different than snow. Ice is bad news. We had 5 inches of ice, not snow. And that's bad for Texas. And so that's when I employed my Soul Eater, little toboggan thingy that someone made me. And it totally came in handy if that was one of you in here. It was a couple of years ago. But I had to, I tried to drive my Toddmobile to the grocery store, and it wasn't happening. That snowy, icy grounds and a 2,000-pound vehicle, those don't really gel that well. Surprise, surprise. And so I got stuck, and I was pushing the car, and again, I'm not properly dressed for that weather, and so it happens a lot. I have a big boy jacket that's good for -40-degree weather, and it makes me look like I'm puffed up like Maggie from The Simpsons when she wears her little outfit to go out in the snow. And but I didn't bring it this time. I have not seen my home in 2 weeks because I went to the Star Trek sets, and then I came straight here, and then I actually go to Texas after this to record on 4 Funimation shows, and then back to LA to record Saturday and Sunday, and then record all week. I have 68 hours of recording to do next week. So if you see me at my show and tell panel and you have a rant request, I might do it a little bit quieter because I need all my voice energy go, if you will. Master of Disguise fans, anyone? Nobody? Okay. You knew that reference?
It's okay.
I'm disguising. What's his first name in that movie? Oh, Pistachio Disguising. I'm going to be the master of disguise. You can pet my dog anytime. His name is The Cuteness. That movie's so awful. It's so freaking bad. I was on Netflix, and sometimes I like to snipe movies that are streaming, movies that I would never watch. And I've seen Master of Disguise 4 times. But it's horrible. It is best to channel your energy go and say a very demoralizing phrase of "Who is your daddy?" I'm not making that line up. It's in the movie. But I'm watching it, I'm sitting there, and my cat and I are watching it. Twiggy is the cat's name. And Twiggy's just like, really? Now when I put on Puss and Boots, like Twiggy watches. Like Twiggy like does that little, little thing where they curve their arms in and they sit and kind of nest. She's watching, like, I think she has a crush on Puss. But well, he looks great in his boots. What kind of thing? He's good with a blade. And so I have video of it because I was like, well, Twiggy is watching it. And she's watching the whole time. She's like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Oh, look out. Oh. I'm going to be the master of disguise. So we watch stuff together. Ooh, 30 Rock, all that kind of stuff. Tracy Morgan. Okay, you ever see that episode of 30 Rock where his dog had the shock collar on? You know what I'm talking about? And then he took it off and the dog immediately takes off and runs away. He's like, wow, that dog did not want to live here. He ran away fast. Come on, Liz Lemon. Okay, so anyway. I have a radio drama here. And it's going to require all of us to channel our energico. This is from 1954. That year did exist. It's not science fiction, people. I was not around in that time. Vic was but a young child. But this is from the... And so what's going to happen is, there are several roles, and I'm going to need your guys' help to do them. You're going to come up here and help me. So I'm going to choose some folks to come on up. We're going to share these scripts. Now what's also going to happen is the rest of you, I'm going to need you guys on sound effects. Okay, all of you. Those of you that wish to not participate in this, too bad. So we're going to do a little test. So what I'm going to do is I'll say the sound effect I need, I'm going to point to you. So it's a lightning fast reaction. For example, door opening. Twiggy meowing. That's close. She actually silently meows. She goes. She really does. I'm like, Twiggy, what do you want? That's all you hear. And then she has a deviated septum, so when she's sitting there, you hear. That's how I know she's like comfy and breathing, and then. That's not bad. I'm a cat. Okay. Lightsaber. I didn't hear you do it. Double-bladed Darth Maul lightsaber. Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's like... Okay, cool. So you guys are on sound effect detail, and how many people want to participate in this? This is a good chance. Okay. So keep those hands raised. Now, let me tell you why we're doing this. This is a good opportunity to get up in front of some people and practice a little bit of voice acting. People are like, how do I get into voice acting? How do I do this? Well, you gotta do it. You gotta practice it, and this is your opportunity to do it. Now, obviously, I can't use all of you in this capacity. I have a business, a sweatshop where I can employ all of you if you have working hands and you know how to use a sewing machine. I've got a lot of merchandise to get. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let's see. So, and if I don't pick you, please don't hate on me. Don't go on the forums and say Haberkorn was the worst Setsucon guest ever. He ran me over in his car. That's not the case. I do enjoy you. I can't pick all of you. Okay, let's see. Allergies. I hope it's not getting sick. Well, okay, first of all, how many people have acted, out of the hands that are raised, how many people of you have acted before in some capacity? Excellent. Good to know, good to know. Okay, so. Oh my goodness, this is such a hard decision. This is like whether, you know, when I used to have to choose between Full House and Family Matters to watch. Because I couldn't watch them both at the same time. Okay, let's go. This is the man that created this gloriousness known as Setsucon right here, I want to give him the honor of picking 7 people. We need 7 people. Boys, girls, I'm easy. There we go, come on up. Come on down. Excellent, hello, hello. Now you guys gotta share. Oh, goodness. Excellent, 2,761. Very good. Excellent. Let's see, very good. Hi, 1, 2, there. Hello, hi guys, hello. Okay, so here, take this one. There's only 2 mics, so you have to. Oh, good. I was gonna choose you because you have the hat of my homeland. Really, I'm first generation immigrant here to the U.S. That's pretty cool. I don't have one of those hats though. Yeah. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh, I think we have 1 too many. 2, 4, 6. We have 8. So we need 1 to. Jim, you got to pick 1 to send away.
Fantastic Picapodian.
All right. Okay, so do me a favor, Loki, grab this mic here. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about what you've done in the past. Just a real quick, like, I've been on stage, I've done da-da-da-da, what, you know, and just let's go down the road so we can learn who's with us.
I am Loki, and mostly I've just done it in the classroom.
Okay, in the class, awesome, awesome.
I am Salt Licks, and I have actually acted in a musical twice before. I had my middle school.
Fantastic. Okay, awesome. Been doing it as long as I've been alive.
Alright. I am a supporter of the Armpit Platoon, but in actuality, I'm John Morris. But I also practice a little bit of voice acting in my own time. Well, without a mic, some people will find me annoying in the house that I live in. My family.
Would those be your parents?
No, my brother.
Your brother? Okay.
Yeah. But I'm a great supporter. I have a YouTube account, Jogging Slayer 007.
Okay.
I also love voice acting. I love doing as the villain. Most of the mad scientists, like, it's sort of British, like, for example, really? It sounds very fascinating. How would we start the dissection?
Well, there will be no dissecting here.
Don't worry.
But because this is not a sterile environment.
Don't worry. He's a very honest man.
Okay, well, that doesn't mean he's not down with dissection.
Now, he only does it for like Wednesdays.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad it's Saturday. Okay, thank you for joining us. Okay, so we've got some brave people up here. Thank you guys for being here. So what we're gonna do is so I figured I'd pick this because you've got, you know, the Lone Ranger movie coming. So we gotta go back to the roots, and this is the Lone Ranger radio play. Okay, so I'm gonna spread some scriptolas out here. I'm gonna get all buddy and chummy and share. I'm gonna look over some shoulders. So 2 per person. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7. So 2, 4. Okay, there you go. Ready? Yeah. Dr. Dissecto. Yeah. Okay. You want to come over here with me? Okay, so, again, this was 1954. It's a little bit different. They didn't watch television. There was no internet or iTunes. This is, I know, my God. What did we do when we couldn't turn on the computer for days and days? Alright, so here's the deal with the radio drum. If you guys haven't done this, we gotta, you gotta burn through it. You know, you gotta go through it fast. You pick up those cues. You don't let any air in there, okay? Just for the purposes of this. Now, they've never seen this script before. Now, this is very similar to how we do things at Funimation. When we audition for a show, we don't get the script ahead of time. We get it a little, like 5 minutes beforehand, before we go in an audition. But when we actually record the show, we don't see the script before. We see it the minute we get in the booth. So when we preview it in Japanese, that's the first time we're seeing what we're saying and seeing what's happening. So everything that's coming out is a lot like what's going to happen here. So, you guys ready for this? Okay, I'm gonna assign some roles. I'm gonna be the announcer. I need, and you guys just let me know what grabs you. Tonto. I need a Tonto. You wanna be Tonto? Okay. I need a Ranger. Oh, I saw your hand first. Ranger, okay. Tonto and Ranger. Now remember, you gotta go fast, loud. I need an elk. Elk. Okay, you be elk. Bogus. You wanna be bogus? Okay, bogus. I need, oh man, there are a lot of sound effects. Hector. Oh, Hector, okay. That's what you're gonna make up. Okay, oh, all right. He may be crazy, I don't know. I have a feeling. Oh, Pete. Pete, America is gonna be Pete. Okay, and then have we assigned all the roles, right? Did you? No, you didn't get what I thought so. There's one more in here. Let me find him. Oh, Clem. That is you, Clem. Okay? Does everyone have the roles? Okay, so what this is gonna require is you gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention, you gotta go fast, okay? Is everyone ready for this? Then you have fun with it. Lots of energy, yeah? Yeah. Saturday morning. You know what time it is in LA right now? My God, it's 8:20 in the morning. I'm coming back from the gym at this point. There's a guy at the gym that I see every time. This is, you know, everybody works out in their own way. But this is what he's doing off to the side, like outside of the gym before he gets in there. With that smile on his face, facing a wall. And then he comes in the gym and he works out, and then there's, oh, I spilled my water. And then there's, it's okay, I'm sorry, I apologize, I just don't want it to freeze and create ice that will slip on. And then there's another guy in the gym who does all these amazing stretches and things like that. But then he grabs the work, there's like a workout, you know, pole, like, and then he grabs it and he lifts himself up to where he's sideways. Now, are you really working out, or are you just showing off at that? I mean, why do you have to do that? I don't get that, but and it is impressive, but I don't know, maybe he's trying to pick up chicks, I don't know. Okay, so, are we ready to rock this? You can do any voice you want, okay? You want to hold on to this? I'm going to look over your shoulder, is that cool? Okay. Yeah, you're going to find it as we go along, okay? We're going to, this is just like how we would record. Now, this right here, this configuration is how they would record in Japan. Everyone would have a script, and then when it was their turn, they'd step up to the mic, step back, and the next person would go. So it's pretty much just like this, okay? So you've got script, one person's on script, one person's on mic, we're gonna have to pass it along. So it's about looking ahead. Okay, this is a challenge. You guys ready for it? So fast, energy, sound effects, yeah? Okay, here we go. All right. Sound effects, horse galloping.
Hi, Silver.
Gunshots.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-ho Silver, the Lone Ranger!
Before this exciting adventure, a word from our sponsor. A little bit of a music thing, like okay.
With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring, resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver.
Galloping!
The Lone Ranger rides again. Early one morning, the Lone Ranger's Indian friend Tonto rode into the town of Tobacco Ridge to buy supplies. When he returned to the masked man's camp, he reported,
There's plenty of excitement in town, Kimosabe. Oh? Crooks tried to rob bank last night.
That bogus Brown and his pal Elk in town?
Them the fellas trying to ruin bank.
Are you sure, Tonto?
Watchmen get a good look at Crooks in Lantern Light, and me hear description him give.
Were they captured?
No, they get away.
"This is totally not a racially acceptable play nowadays."
Probably any
show you where we pick up trail outside.
Tonto moonlights as Bizarro.
One fella ride a horse with a worn shoe.
All right, let's go, Tonto.
Easy, Scout.
Horse running.
Come on, Scout.
Come on, Scout.
By taking a roundabout route through the hills, the masked man and Tonto avoided riding through Tobacco Ridge in order to reach the western side of town. There they drew rein. Horse coming to a stop.
Here tracks Kimosabi, just like trail we lose yesterday.
Yes, you're right, Tonto.
Horse slowly walking.
Easy, Scout. Pretty close.
You're very clever at hiding your tracks.
That right. We already lose trail once.
We'll try not to lose it again. Come on, Silver.
Come on, Scout.
Horse starts running. More than half a day's journey ahead of the Lone Ranger and Tonto, Bogus and Elk slow their horses to a walk to rest the animals. Horses slowing to a walk.
Whoa now, easy now. Well, yeah, when I saw the light in the bank, I told you we wouldn't have a chance.
How would I know a watchman was on duty inside?
I'll bet $20 that critter got a good look at us. Look at us too.
William.
You and your smart ideas.
Not Joe yet.
We'll never reach the border if you try any more loco moves.
We need cash, Elton, and I think I know where we can get it.
Well, if you're thinking of trying another bank robbery,
I'm thinking of a lost shark I know it's a town of bullshit.
A lost shark bit me one time.
where's that?
Behind the town of Amity.
Amity's ahead of us.
Mule Shoes west of it. It's a rich cattle town.
Who's your friend?
A lawyer named Hector Moss.
If he is on the level, how'd you know to get to him? Get to know him.
He's no more honest than we are. Fact is, he left the East to get away from murder charges.
What's he doing in Moolshoe?
Practicing law, as far as I know. He might know how we can get a hold of some easy money.
He should. He'd set himself instead of telling us about it.
Nah, no, not Hector. He's got to act like he's honest. But there's nothing to keep us from pulling a quick robbery and clearing out of town.
Well, I don't want to stop long enough in the next town to get my gear fixed to replace this critter's left front shoe.
What's wrong with your gear?
That stirrup leather needs replacing.
Oh, well, we'll get a meal while it's being fixed.
That suits me.
All right, let's go. Get in.
Horse is running. In the town of Amity, the killer stopped at a saddle shop where an 18-year-old redhead named Pete Jones worked. Leaving their horses with him, Bogus and Elk went to the restaurant directly across from the shop.
Voices talking in the background. Plates and knives scratching on the plate.
A short time later, Bogus looked up from the plate of stew he was eating.
Elk, look. Look who just drew rein at the saddle shop.
That dude's no one I know.
It's Hector. Hector Moses.
Oh, yeah? Well, what's he doing here?
I don't know, but I'll find out. I'll be back in a minute.
A few minutes later, Bogus returned to the restaurant with Hector Moses.
Meet my pal, Elk.
Well, how are you doing?
Howdy.
Sit down, Hector.
Why, thank you.
Scrapes of chairs.
Good.
I have a problem, Bogus. Meeting you should help me solve it.
Oh, what's the problem?
A wealthy client of mine died a few weeks ago, Bogus. You might have heard of John Perry.
Don't.
Who's John Perry?
Brother of Steve Perry from the band Journey.
John Clem.
He inherits the ranch, eh?
Well, part of it. The rest is to go to John's son, Pete. Now, the trouble is that Pete and his mother were with a wagon train ambushed by those doggone Redskins 15 years ago. Pete's mother was found dead, and so the rest of the travel.
I don't condone the use of the term Redskins.
What about the boy?
Well, his body was never found. John Perry died believing his son is still alive.
Oh.
Now, Clem Perry is downright anxious to find the boy. Clem's unmarried and hopes that his nephew will carry on the clover leaf after he's gone.
How can he carry it on if no one knows where he is?
Well, I suppose to locate the boy.
Well, that's some job.
Yes, but I stand to collect.
a mighty handsome fee if I succeed.
Fees do look good in this era. Very
Earning it
handsome.
won't be easy.
Manly.
I have 3 months to find the boy. If I don't find him, the entire estate will go to claim. But if you and Elk were to cooperate, which you are, my job will be much more easier.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, that young redhead across the street is the same age Pete Perry would. All night, all every night. If he were alive, he looked very much like John Perry. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. I learned he's an orphan. He works for his broad board and room in the saddle shop, and he knows nothing about his past.
What about it?
So he's Wolverine, basically.
I might be able to plumb him off to Clem as a real Pete Perry. Oh, every night.
Oh, so that's your scheme.
Yes. Old Clem wouldn't know the difference. I don't think I'll have any trouble selling him the idea that the youngsters is his nephew.
What about selling the kid the idea?
That's where you two come in.
Huh?
As a reputational lawyer, I can't try to talk the youngster into doing anything shady, but you can.
Me?
Yes, you and Elk talk to the boy, persuade him to go along with the masquerade, and I'll make it worth your while.
How?
Candy bars. As many as you want.
How worthwhile?
Well, I do declare, I'll pay you $500.
Or that. Candy bars are 500. Whatever you choose.
For a swindle like that? Not on your life. Split the fee with us or forget the deal.
My fee?
And that's not all.
What do you mean?
Kid stands to inherit a big ranch when his uncle dies, doesn't he?
Well, yes.
If we work this right, we can cut ourselves in for a share of the clover.
How do you figure that?
Kid won't want anyone to know he's not Pete Perry.
Oh, every night.
Ranch.
Is that...
That's mine.
Is that so?
By threatening to tell what we know, we'll have him right where we want him. We may end up living like cattle kinds, huh, Hector?
Well, we might. If you talk to him into going along with the idea.
You leave that to Elk and me.
Now look, I want to be in the clear in case this boy makes trouble.
Don't worry.
What about us?
Oh, you got nothing to lose. You're probably dodging the law as it is.
Don't get any ideas about turning us in, Hector.
Believe me, you know better than that, Bogus.
I totally trust Hector right now.
I know you're a killer.
Well, the law is here knows nothing about that murder.
I know about it, and I'll talk if you try double-cross.
Oh, you misunderstood me. I just want to be sure I'm covered when you talk to the boy. Leave me out of this deal until he agrees to pose as Perry. Just a small town boy.
Oh, that's savvy. Come on, Elk. We'll go talk to the kid.
Now to continue, 18-year-old Pete Jones listened thoughtfully to the proposition Bogus and Elk unfolded. Horses! We're taking a trip to the saddle shop. I'm gonna pop some tags, only got...
It's a great chance for an orphan like you, Pete. Clint Harris, an old man. When he dies, you'll inherit the Cloverleaf Ranch.
Well, I like living on the ranch first rate, but I don't want to go there unless Mr. Perry knows the
Don't stop believing.
And you'll be doing a lonesome old man a favor by going to the ranch and posing as his nephew.
Ride to Moulshu with us, and you'll be putting yourself in line for a fine inheritance.
It's a chance of a lifetime for a fella like you. You're a fool if you pass it up.
Without realizing how it happened, the red-headed orphan agreed to the plan the two killers outlined so glibly. Then Bogus signaled Hector, who was waiting in the restaurant. He joined the group.
It's all set, Hector. The The youngster's going to Mule Shoe with us.
What?
Who all wants to go to Mule Shoe? Not me. I'm not going.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. You will not regret your decision, young man.
I hope not.
Well, let's get going.
Footsteps! When they reached Mule Shoe, Bogus and Elk went to Hector Moses' office. Bogus and Hector Moses' office, while the scheming lawyer took Pete to the Cloverleaf Ranch. Bogus lit the lamp in the office. It was almost midnight before Hector returned.
Well, here's Hector now. Yep.
Well, boys, it's all set.
How'd things go at the ranch?
Oh, just fine. Glenn welcomed Pete with open arms.
Just a really trustworthy guy, this Hector. I mean, just really, I want you to watch my kids.
Did he suspect anything was wrong?
No. In fact, he's so pleased he promised me a special fee for finding his long
Candy bars.
Good.
Oh, and by the way, I told him I meet 2 down and out cowpokes who need jobs.
That's a good band name, Cowpokes.
Oh, it's my turn.
Meeting you 2. He's short-handed right now, so he told me to send you right now. You can bunk at the rank tonight and go to work in the morning.
Work?
Well, it'll be a first-rate hideout for you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want either one of you seen around my office. So get going. The ranch is a 45-minute ride from the town. Now, Clem, say you should stop at the ranch house to see him before you head to the bunkhouse.
Oh, horses stopping. Crickets.
Hello, Scout.
A short time after Bogus and Elk left town, the Lone Ranger drew rein in the moonlit darkness near the scheming lawyer's lightened office.
Kimosabi,
Yeah?
track show crooks go in the office. Come out right away.
Someone's still in the office.
There's signing window.
Let me see. Hector Moses, attorney at law.
Why crooks there?
Moses may not have known their killers.
Oh,
Over here, Tonto. Easy, steady, big fellas. I want to ask you a few questions about those 2.
Knock on the door.
Oh! Who can that be?
Footsteps. Door opens. Lightsaber. That's what it says.
Now listen, if you 2 have come here to...
Are you Hector Moses?
Yes, but
Don't be alarmed by my mask.
If you are here to solicit my service as an attorney...
I'm here for information. May I step inside?
Now hold on, mister.
I'll not detain you long.
This is hardly irregular.
A couple of killers named Elk Heber and Bogus Brown were here ahead of me.
I feel bad for the parents that named their... I'm gonna name my son Elk Heber. Yep, that's a good idea.
Alright. Okay. Oh, how do you know that?
Tonto and I have been following them for over a week.
Tonto?
Yes, my Indian friend.
Oh, during 20 years I spent in the West, I've heard a lot about the masked man who travels with an Indian named Tonto.
In that case, you know my mask doesn't mean I'm an outlaw.
You're the Lone Ranger!
That's right! What's wrong?
Why nothing, sir. It's just that I never expected the pleasure of meeting you. I have to say I'm surprised and honored.
Hector Moses, mealy-mouthed flattery belied the panic in his heart. Having guessed his caller's identity, he knew Elk and Bogus were sure to be captured. He knew, too, that when they were behind bars, they would tell the law that Hector Moses was also wanted for murder. Thinking of the derringer in his desk drawer, Hector tried to think of a way to draw it and take the masked man by surprise.
Of course I didn't know that you were wanted by the law. When they asked me for directions, I gave them the information they wanted. I'll draw a map. I'll show them exactly the route I think they'll travel.
On the pretext of reaching for a pencil and paper, Hector opened the desk door and he grabbed one.
Alright, ready, mister.
What's the idea?
Surprised you, huh?
Yeah. Why the gun?
You're not going after Bogus and Elk.
No.
You're through hunting outlaws.
You're gonna kill me?
Why, that's right.
How do you expect to get away with it?
Well, it's easy. I'll tell the sheriff that you broke into my office and I shot you in self-defense.
You may not have a chance to tell that story.
Ah.
I didn't come here alone. My Indian friend Tonto is outside the window.
What? That's impossible!
Hector turned for a moment to cover the window.
Come here, you!
In that split second, the masked man stripped his arm.
Ah! Hey, let go of me!
Drop the gun!
Yeah!
Drop it or I'll break your arm! I said drop that gun!
All right.
That's better.
Footsteps.
Kemosabe, me here cry. Come in, Tonto.
Door opens.
What happened? Hector Moses is trying to protect Bogus and Elk.
I have to do it!
We're willing to kill me.
I didn't want to kill you! No!
I'll leave you here to guard him while I follow Bogus and Elk.
Following the directions Hector had given them, Elk and Bogus had ridden directly to the Cloverleaf Ranch house. Clem and Pete were in the kitchen, where the 18-year-old was eating cold turkey sandwiches and milk. What? Standing inside the kitchen door with his hat in his hand, Elk explained.
Well, the rest of the house was dark, so we came to the back door, Mr. Perry.
Oh, every night. But I'm glad you did. Come in and help yourself to some grub if you're hungry.
Well, thanks, Mr. Perry. We are kind of hungry.
Hey, it looks to me like you're enjoying first-rate spread, Pete.
I've eaten as much turkey as I can hold, Elk. This is the happiest day of my life. But, Dad Rabbit, I'm sure wish my brother could have lived to see this. Well, after Mr. Moses left, I found out I really am Pete Perry.
Anywhere you want it.
That's right, there's no mistake about it.
You're sure about that, huh?
Dead sure. Pete was born in this house 17 years ago when he was 3, and his mother started his visitor boats.
Hector Moses said the wagon train was ambushed.
It was, but I never believed my Pete was killed, and now that I've seen the birthmark on Pete's arm, I know he's my nephew.
Birthmark?
That's right, Pete has a cloverleaf birthmark on his right upper arm.
Well, I'll be.
When he was 3 days old, his dad changed the brand of his spread from JP to Cloverleaf. It's been that way ever since. And the brand's just like the mark on Pete's arm. His dad had it done that way. Roll up your sleeve, Pete, and show. Sure, there it is. That's your identification.
Does Hector know about this?
That's scheming Shyster. Pete told me about how he planned to fool me by getting a boy to pose as my nephew. It's a doggone Tood that... Tood?
That's what some people think my name is, Tood. And they've spelt it that way, and the people on the phone are like, okay, Tood, what's your last name? Really? Okay.
The doggone Tood thing that I never told him about his birthmark.
So you told him all about the plant, Pete?
Sure I did.
Why, you...
Hey, what's the idea with the gun?
Don't try reaching for yours.
Yes?
We can't get away with it now. We can take whatever money's around here and clear out. Take the old man's gun, Elk.
Don't try it. Hey, look at the window of the masked man.
Get him.
Gunshot. As Bogus whirled around to fire, a silver bullet smashed his gun.
Ow!
Seconds later, another bullet grazed Elk's hand. The killer dropped the weapon he had drawn. Clem Perry, every night, snatched his gun from its holster and covered the disarmed outlaws.
Make a move and you'll stop living. Keep him covered while I come inside. I'll do that, mister. Don't move, you two, or I'll shoot. Where in the world did you come from, mister?
I've been following these fellows for a week, Clem. Their trail led me to your kitchen door.
Why do you know this masked man, Uncle Clem? You're doggone right, I do, Pete. He and his Injun pal helped your dad and me round up some rustlers who were stealing our stock a few years ago.
I was sorry to learn about your brother's death.
Yeah, well, I lost my brother, but I found my nephew. Meet Pete, mister.
How are you, Pete?
Well, I'm fine now, but Bogus and Elk had me plenty worried for a minute. According to my nephew, they're mixed up in some scheme with Hector Moses.
Tonto's with Hector Moses now.
That tongue-dealing lawyer squealed on us.
You didn't have to. I know your record.
He's as bad as we are.
What do you mean?
That skunk's wanted for a 20-year-old murder in Chicago.
Well, if that's the case, he'll pay for his crime. Now
Now, how about tying up their hands for their trip to town, Clem?
After the Lone Ranger left with the prisoners he planned to turn over to the sheriff in town, Pete shook his head. Shaking head. It's like, just quiet.
I don't understand it. Understand what, Pete?
Well, a masked man helping to round out rustlers, catching bogus and out like that.
You're not the first person to question his past, Pete, and you won't be the last.
Why does he wear it?
Because he's a Lone Ranger.
Hi-ho, Silver! Away!
The Lone Ranger, a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated, is produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated. The Lone Ranger was played by these folks. Round of applause. Round of applause for the sound effects for yourself. All right, thank you guys. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, let's do it. We'll get a picture of the whole Lone Ranger cast here. The only Lone Ranger radio drama probably done in the United States of America right now. Okay, here we go. Jim, you want to take that? Let's do it. Yeah, we're going to take some quick... All right, here we go. Come on, Burger. Yeah? Thanks, guys. All right. Thank you, guys. That's how it's done. All right. So, you know, they still do radio dramas in the UK and things like that. They record them all over, and everyone's not in the same place. They do it over ISDN, things like that. And, oh, sorry about that, yeah. I made a mess. Get excited. But yeah, that was fun, that was fun. And so when we, oh, thank you very much. But yeah, people, that's great that people do YouTube channels and they do theater and they do all sorts of stuff to get that practice, because you need that practice if you want to make it in any kind of business. You need to practice in all things. If you want to be an MMA fighter, you practice MMA fighting. You don't just watch it on TV and like, okay, I got it. I pretty much know what I'm doing. Let's set up a match for Monday. Like, no, you've got to practice, you've got to work out, you've got to do all this stuff. Same thing here, you've got to work out your voice. So, you know, I'm very fortunate in the sense that I get to work and audition, you know, quite often. And so I'm very, very lucky, thank you. And so I try to appreciate that and honor the fact that I get to do that by, you know, taking care of my voice and taking care of myself and really trying to, you know, be grateful for what I get to do. And so I'm glad I got to share that a little bit with you guys. If you guys have any questions, we've got about 10 minutes. I can answer some questions for you, and then I'm going to go to the panel with Dave right after this, and I hope to see you guys there. Yes, in the very back.
When you auditioned for Italy, how did you manage to get the voice for Italy down?
When I auditioned for Italy, so originally, when I auditioned, I thought I had no clue what Italia was. No idea. And so I thought these were going to be, because they didn't inform us of this, I thought it was going to be straight up authentic accents. And so I studied, and at the time they didn't say, just practice your Italy accent. They said, we've got Italy, Lithuania, Spain, blah, 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 all these accents. And so I'm like, so I'm studying all of these accents. And so I walk in and I do an Italian accent, and then I do a German accent, and then I do an English accent, all this kind of stuff. And so, and again, the director, he wasn't informing me that it needs to be crazy and kooky, so I'm trying to just do these authentic accents. And so, originally I was England for Italian, and actually I recorded the whole first season as England. And then, as I was finishing, they said, actually, the guy that's doing Italy had to step away from the role. So we actually need an Italy now. But we, you know, so we have to replace England and get an Italy. So when I was recording, I would audition for Italy. Now, I auditioned for that role probably 4 times. And it was down to me and one other actor. We were going back and forth, auditioning and coming in and recording a little bit and hearing it.
And so finally I went in and he goes, so give me your Italian accent. And I said, well, if you want it crazy and kooky, it's gonna be, you know, my rendition of Mario from Mario Brothers. Let's go. You know, something like that. And he goes, great, that's what we want. And I go, really? Okay, well, thank you, Nintendo. And so that's how that happened. So out there are episodes where I'm England and there's a different Italy somewhere. It's in the archives at Funimation. Yeah, this other actor that I was going head to head with, I mean, for weeks, when the deadlines were passed, the show was late because we kept going back and forth on who would record Italy. But this other actor ended up getting Greece. And so it all worked out in the end. Let's see. Yes, sir. For Firo, he says, what kind of gangster movies or something did I watch to get that voice? Well, I have family from New York. And so I would just go talk to my pop and my grandma and just listen to them. And, you know, he was a guy that, you know, he was with the NYPD for 30 years. So I just sit down and, oh, come on, pull up a chair, Todd. And so I would just listen to him, and then I would listen to my grandmother, who was always very nervous and always wondering what's going on. And so listen to her and just combining the two. You come up with something like a Firo Progenaso, you know, a little bit younger, a little bit like that. The only character that I know that can pull off a green suit. Because I would never do it. But that's how that came about. Yes, ma'am. Well, England sounded a little bit like this. And he would talk about flying mint bunnies and sitting in chairs and things like that. It's very exciting. Black Star. Is there any update on Fairy Tale and when more episodes are coming out? I cannot answer that question. I cannot address that question. He said, are we still getting close to the tattoo? I can say nothing about that stuff. I can confirm nor deny that. Just keep watching Fairy Tale. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Do the Funimation actors and I have competitions of who can get more jobs? You know, for me, I'm just happy to work. You know, that's the thing. Like Keith David, like, that's his mentality. He just wants to work, and that's what you find is like you're only as, I guess, you're only as good as your last job. Really, it's weird how that works. So I try to stay just working, and I used to care a lot more about what other people were doing in comparison to where I was in the business, but that's just wasted effort. You can't focus on that because you're going to drive yourself crazy trying to, you know, get where they're at and follow them. It's a different path. You know, I'm Haberme, and there's no other Habermes out there, so I have to focus on me. Yes. Let you come up here and read this radio drama, and then you hurt my feelings like that. What else did you want to say? Homestuck. You are indeed symmetrical. Good for you. Let's see. Yes. What made me come up with Alan Walker's voice? So, how I got that job actually was I was walking through the halls of Funimation, just looking at stuff, and I see this figure in the distance, and he walks up to me, and it was like, oh, hi Chris, TV's Chris Sabat. And he goes, I've got this new show. Actually, it's like, I've got this new show. And he said, I want you to voice the lead. And so it's one of the few times where you don't really audition. And it was just like, I want you to voice the lead in this show called D. Gray Man. And I'm like, well, why is it called D. Gray Man? I still don't know the answer to that, by the way. But, and so he said, I want you to be the lead in this. I think you'd be really good for it. And I go, well, I hope so. And he goes, I also want you to direct it. So that's how I got that gig. It was a conversation in the hallway. And we were going to do the episode, we did it 2 ways. The first pass was in a British accent. The second pass was what you hear. And we decided that it was best to go with that second pass because if we're going to stay true to everybody's regions, then like Miranda would have to be speaking German if you're going to do that. And so I don't have, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have time to teach Colleen German. It's just not in the cards. And so we decided to go with just a standard like boop, you know, thing. Yes. Hallstrom?
I don't know if it's the frostbite, but I think I love you, Hallstrom.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, yes, Viscount Druid. I think of this voice every time I see a blue lobster.
Yeah, I can't say that. It's not 18 and there we go, that's all I can say. Yeah, yes ma'am. Yes. She's asking about the Tribute Wars. I will show some clips of it tomorrow if you want, but we're done. We completely finished. I mean, you know, the Tribute Wars between Vic and I, they started off as like a really quick little 1-minute video here, and then it built up to like a 5-minute video, and then it was a 10-minute video, and then his was Todd of the Rings was like, you know, 22 minutes long, and he shot in New Zealand and things like that. Then my video had to beat his, so it was like 40 minutes long. And I can't do it anymore. I mean, it's a lot of, that was 9 days of shooting. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's very stressful to shoot those movies, and I want to be stressed out about you know, some couple other projects. But now we're just working together on Star Trek, so it's probably for the best. I will tell you tomorrow. Well, I'll tell you right now. We were on set, and so for those of you that don't know, I have a fan club that's Team Haberkorn, so teamhaberkorn.com. We support the Acadiana Humane Society, which is a no-kill animal shelter, and just 2 days ago, we partnered up with St. Jude's. You know, they fight cancer, childhood cancer. And so when you join our site, a portion of our proceeds goes to Acadiana Humane as well as St. Jude's. So it's a really good cause in there. So think about visiting and getting some stuff and joining up, and we've got all sorts of stuff because it supports really good causes. There was our guest star. I can't tell you who it is, but it's a guest star from the original series of Star Trek. He's reprising a role in our first episode. Very nice guy. And someone suggested we should get him to wear a Team Haberkorn shirt. And so we waited until it was time for a close-up. And we worked this all out with the other crew members and things like that. And so we slid the shirt on, and he's wearing like a jumpsuit, so he was able to cover it up a little bit. And so Vic is distracted at this point. He doesn't know what's going on, because she's like trying to get the shot. He's like, okay, let's get the light in. Okay, background actors, right? And so the actor sneaks in, and the camera's right here, and Vic is supposed to turn in and face this guest star. And so when he does, the guest star went, and he saw the team, and the look on Vic's face was just like computer reset, does not compute. It was awesome. It was really cool. The other thing that we did was we were at a restaurant together, and Vic, so we're at a hibachi restaurant, and Vic is sitting at a table way over there, and I'm at a table here with some of the cast and crew. We couldn't all sit together. And someone said, we should prank Vic. And I said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. So we called the waiter over and we said, okay, here's what, do you have any desserts? And he goes, well, we've got this, you know, birthday cupcake. We said, I go, perfect. I don't know if you guys saw CSI Manana. Okay, that's a movie I made where it explores me dreaming about killing Vic. And so Vic wasn't in it, but it was about him. And so we got the cupcake, and the waiter took it over, and I told him to say this. He went up to Vic and he goes, "Mr. Manana, this dessert is on the house. We loved you in CSI Manana." And so he looked over and sent some choice American Sign Language my way. And thus it began. So, but anyway, guys, we've got another panel coming up right here. You're already in the room. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the great reception so far. I'll turn it over to Dave.
Any advice for anybody pursuing a career?
As far as advice for people that want to get into voice acting, you know, it's such a fickle, crazy thing. I mean, there's no set way to get in. There's no set way for success or failure or anything like that. I mean, well, the only thing that I can tell you is the guaranteed success or failure is to not try. If you don't try, guaranteed you're going to fail. So I guess at the end of the day is try.